Nice. What's up, everybody? This is Corey. That is Kev. We are the Overlook, your home for all the One Piece content you need when it comes to theory. So today we have another theory because it's Thursday. Theory Thursday.
hmm
How many times can I say it in a row?
Not enough.
The conversation topic for today is Thriller Bark, a
hmm
piece of God Valley. So every week, if you are new to this show, we have another theory or topic that we talk about on Thursdays. Join us this week and join us for the next week by subscribing here. Write down a comment of what you think about this topic. Do you think God Valley and Thriller Bark are somehow connected? If you don't, let us know. If you do, support us. You can find last week's topics in the playlist. Let's get started. Thriller Bark being God
Yep.
Valley. So there have been some rumors across the internet. This is an older theory. None of these are new or original. We just take them from the internet and talk about them. But this one states that during the time skip, when Doflamingo attacked Gecko Moria and stated that this was sent, like these were orders given to him by the government. Gecko Moria asked him, "Who? Sengoku?" And he's like, "No, somebody above." So this theory all stems from why would the government want Gecko Moria dead? Well, Gecko Moria may have a piece of God Valley.
Oh,
You see, God Valley is from the West Blue, and that's also where they say Thriller Bark is from. While we're on Thriller Bark, we see a bunch of architecture, old buildings, kind of cathedral-like places. And that is also very similar and very reminiscent from some of the flashbacks that we got at God Valley.
true.
There's another point that they made. During our God Valley flashback, we saw a hunting ground within a coliseum. Same coliseum is on Thriller Bark. One of the last points we have to support this argument: the Rocks Pirates. Many of the zombies that Gecko Moria was controlling were from the Rocks Pirates. Well, how would he have access to the Rocks Pirates if the Rocks Pirates fell at God Valley?
True.
So, not only is talking about God Valley taboo, so nobody really mentions it, but the government wanting to get rid of Gecko Moria, if this theory is true, would be a roundabout way of them closing the loop so that nobody could mention it again. How we feel about this theory?
I like it a bunch. The two biggest parts to me is because it, the two biggest parts to me are the Colosseum, because that always stood out to me on the Thriller Bark arc. Is why is there a Colosseum on something that more reminds me of a circus slash Halloween type of environment? Why is there a Colosseum and not something like? So I thought that was a really good callback to them. But the nail in the coffin for me is the resurrected bodies from the Rocks Pirate. I get there's only so many ways you can draw a pirate or any type of character really in a series, but they are all precisely what we see in uh, the God Valley throwback. So it comes to question that Oda's not this wouldn't overlook something as big as a detail like this. So when it comes to this, I really see Gecko Moria as he stole a piece of God Valley, which then really pissed off every one of the celestial dragons because that was their playground. You got to remember this: the annual massacre was fun for them. None of them died. Like this was all fun and games.
Yeah,
This was rich people killing people during the purge. This was just all fun. And when Gecko Moria shows up and is a very strong or not even a warlord at this time, but a very strong individual who can go toe to toe with Kaido, it pisses people off because you're supposed to be the strongest, you know, strongest people in the world, and Gecko Moria is showing you differently.
Yeah. And that's the thing about Gecko Moria's power too. It's the control too. It's like you're not only bringing this to the table, like you're sailing this around for people to find, but it's like you're physically controlling these people from the past that we do not want to bring up. Like this is not something that we want people to know about. I don't know though. I like the theory of it being part of God Valley. I think we need to see God Valley animated. And I think that's going to be the whole thing. Like, if God Valley just looks like a light version of that, then 100%. Also, we've seen islands break apart. And we've seen the destruction that these pirates can have on an island. They can literally break an island by fighting. So, who's to say that, like, an island part didn't just get chopped off from a slice from a sword or punched off a whole, like, side of a mountain that fell down or something like that? Like, this is a very believable theory.
Whitebeard's at God Valley. Like, Whitebeard can easily separate them.
Bam, that part.
Yeah.
Kaido's at God Valley. Big Mom's at God Valley. Like, all these... Rocks is at God Valley. Sengoku, Garp, all these people are earth shatterers. You know what I mean? Like, it's no stretch of imagination for this to have happened. The idea of turning it into a ship and getting it from the West Blue to the Grand Line is a little bit of a stretch, because how does that even happen in the first place? But sure. God Valley is in the West Blue. They say Thriller Bark is from the West Blue. So it's like, obviously it must have been able to happen. It's just, I feel like we need some kind of logistical explanation for that.
And I want to get your insight, because Thriller Bark goes hand in hand with Gecko Moria. We don't really kind of know any other ruler of Thriller Bark. So is this why he's become such an important figure in the most recent chapters?
I wonder.
I mean, Blackbeard stole him, had him a prisoner. Oda's not afraid to kill people off. You know, like if they no longer serve a writing purpose or a story purpose, he's not afraid to kill. So why is Gecko Moria back? Is Blackbeard trying to learn how to make his own island ship?
That would be... But that's the thing. Blackbeard did capture him, huh?
Yes.
He was captured by Blackbeard. And if he joins up with Buggy, and your theory is true, you know what theory I'm talking about.
Bucky the King.
Buggy is the son of Rox D. Zebek, is Kev's theory. I'm wondering, I'm not completely sold, but if Gecko Moria joins the Cross Guild, then we have no reason not to discuss it. You know what I mean?
100%.
But with that being said, what do you guys think? Write that down in the comment below. Do you think, because we have giants. We have giants, but I feel like we need like a giant with a giant fruit to make this, because even ores would not have been big enough. I'm looking at pictures of Thriller Bark. Like, this place is not exactly... I guess I just gotta see it. I gotta see it so I can believe it. Like, how did they get the giant barrier around with the moat, with all the...
Are you talking about like into the Grand Line?
Yeah, well, just itself.
Oh,
like,
that part I don't get.
And then into the Grand Line. That's the only thing. Like, everything about this theory I like, except for that one part where it's just like, how'd they get it there? That is my biggest holdback on this whole entire theory. Is I feel like it doesn't make it over Reverse Mountain. It doesn't make it into the Grand Line. And then what's the importance afterwards? Like, is it just to create a whole new one? Or what are we going to do with this information? Because is it going to be just sitting there like, hey, we created an island ship, but then never get brought up again? I guess we'll only know with time. Now, and when I'm looking at this picture of Thriller Bark, it's the giant cathedral, a second maybe clock tower, and then a smaller building which could be a housing area. and maybe that could be a housing little complex, but there's not really a lot of buildings on here. It's not like it's just this giant area. It's just the precipice of a hill. You know what I mean? With some overgrown. Now, the trees look like they've been overgrown. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
that this place, it seems like it's been like this for a while. The walls on the outside damaged in the very front, so that could be something from the fight. Like, all these are just signs of it being in a different kingdom and it being taken. Like the damaged wall, the overgrown trees, the just limited amount of buildings and everything like that. I'm more interested on the surrounding mechanism that drives the place. I want to know how that operates and how that got them there more. But I don't know. I think I'm getting more into the logistical stuff that y'all don't care about. Any final thoughts on the Thriller Bark thing, Kev?
I've always loved Gecko Moria. I mean, especially when you learn that that he goes toe to toe with Kaido. So I've always loved for him to be really important to the story, and this is another way to. Because if he did steal God Valley, that is a big FU to the government. Which I guess that also brings in my second issue with it. How did he then become a warlord after all? Wouldn't they have still been pissed off at him?
Yeah.
Leave it down in the comments. Do you guys think we're off base on this? Do you guys believe the hype? Is God Valley really Thriller Bark?
Yeah. And it's like,
we'll only know about.
Let us know how you guys feel about like how it fits in. You know what I mean? Because it kind of fits, but then there are some things that don't. Like Gecko Moria, they could have had him become a warlord so they could be like, look, we're just going to get him a false sense of security when he's around us and then send another warlord to kill him. Because we can't have this guy running around. And if we try to attack him, it's a wild card. We don't know what's going on. Did my dog just get in here? How long you been in here, bro? This dude's crying over something. But yeah, like Kev said, write down your comments below. What do you guys think of this theory? Do you guys think that's God Valley or a piece of it? Or do you think God Valley's in a totally different place unrelated? Who do you think was the person that wanted to kill Gecko Moria? Do you think do you think it was sent from Emu? Do you think it was sent from the Gorosei? Do you think it was sent, here was one, Figureland. They thought maybe he had something to do with it. But who knows? You guys do, so let us know.
You tell us.
Yeah, you tell us. We'll catch y'all tomorrow.
Peace.
Nice.